All right, this is always one of my favorite segments. I get to visit with John Sellers to learn more about the Ozarks' place in history at the History Museum on the Square. Today, it's all about transportation. Take a look. And welcome back. I'm with John Sellers. We are at the History Museum, and John, one of the pivotal things that happened in Springfield was named Butterfield.
Butterfield.
Tell me about that.
Well, Springfield has always been a crossroads from the very earliest time. Native Americans, there was 5 different trails that met here.
Right.
Because of the water and everything. Well, in the 1850s, the government was surveying across the country for a railroad line to try to connect the East Coast to the West Coast of this great continent. And in the interim, they decided that they would send wagons or coaches across the country to do the same thing, to move people and mail until they could get the railroad line built.
Okay.
So they let a contract, and a man named Jonathan Butterfield, who had worked with Wells Fargo and other freight lines on the East Coast, got the contract. He had to move a portion of mail and people from St. Louis to the West Coast in under 30 days. That was his requirement, one way, less than 30 days.
Okay.
So he set up a line that started in St. Louis and went by packet boat to Tipton, Missouri, by boat.
Okay.
And then from Tipton, it went south through here, all the way into Arkansas, and then on to the west on the southern route, using different kinds of wagons and different kinds of pulling horses, oxen, mules, because of the terrain.
Okay.
Some of the station stops were very close together, others were wide apart.
Right.
And they would use different kinds of wagons based on their soft soil or sand or hard soil.
Oh, so it wasn't all the stagecoach. When we hear the word stagecoach.
When you think of the stagecoach, this is one of the 3 types of conveyances they used.
Okay.
And one even had extra wide wheels so it wouldn't sink in the sand. I mean, it was all specialized, and each one of them ran between one station stop and the next, and then stopped, and they would reload the passengers onto another conveyance and go on, and then that one would go back. So they made these, the wagons and horses, or wagons and mules, or wagons and oxen, or whatever, would just make this one little circuit back and forth all the time.
Okay, since you're saying oxen, that means something pretty big they're pulling around.
They had, I mean, some of them were big wagons. They had to be because of the terrain. It was very rough and uneven. So they got this contract, and they came through here in September of 1858. It was the very first trip. Jonathan Butterfield's son was driving the wagon, and they had actually two wagons that came through and changed here at a station stop at a place called Nicholas Smith's Tavern, which was located right here.
Here, this is the stop.
This is the stop, Nicholas Smith's Tavern, right here on this corner.
Oh my gosh, so the building, this corner that we're on.
Exactly.
That is huge.
Oh yeah, so they would stop here, they would change horses and wagons, and then they would get something to eat, and then they would go on south down what they called the Wire Road.
Right.
And then they would go on into Arkansas, and then from Arkansas on to the west. And then in the second week in October, the first eastbound wagon came through. So it was about 2 weeks between one coming one way and one the other.
So what you're saying is then one wagon that went to another stop would wait there and then make the... So you had the same kind of terrain vehicle that
every
you had.
time.
Good grief. Okay, how long did it take for them to get from here to the West Coast?
28 days. 28 days.
So they made the 30-day thing.
Yeah, they made the 30-day deal. They hauled mail, they hauled people. And yeah, it was 28 days one way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we've been the crossroads of America for a long time.
Exactly.
This is the kind of stuff you can learn at the History Museum. Always something fascinating. Come in and visit. You will be amazed at what you can learn.